Good morning, Julian McBain here, and this is my 22nd Saturday vlog, and this is take 2 because I just spent the last 20 minutes or so talking to myself, as apparently when I hit the record button the mouse jumped instead of actually recording. That's why I'm in the water, and that's why I've got some loot on me. So I'm going to try to reconstruct what I just spent the last 20 minutes talking about. And we're going to start by talking about the next series. So Thursday, the last episode of my We Happy Few Let's Play aired. And I'm really proud that I managed to plug through the whole thing, because there were times when I frankly didn't want to finish. And it wasn't because it was a bad game. It was because We Happy Few is the storyline is very bleak. You know, there's an air of desperation, a desperate attempt to hold together a world that's coming crashing down around your ears, which is what it's supposed to do, right? It's supposed to invoke that feeling. It was very well done. It was extremely well written. The gameplay, although the combat was frustrating at times, especially for Ollie, like for Arthur, it was very straightforward. You know, very much the way I like to do my combat. And then for Sally, it was much more nuanced, which is another way I don't mind doing combat. I mean, hell, that's all fencing is. Very nuanced combat. But with Ollie, due to the way they spawned extras anytime you alerted one person, it got very frustrating. And so that was if We Happy Few has any negative marks at all, other than the occasional bugs that they're still working out, then that would be my one major concern, is that with Ollie, the combat is very frustrating. And maybe it's because Ollie, I think one-on-one Ollie is very stout, which might be why they did it, to kind of increase the difficulty a touch. But at the same time, it's like we were on normal difficulty. If this was hard difficulty, then I'm asking for that. But we were on normal difficulty, so that kind of irritated me. But anyway, I loved We Happy Few. 70 episodes. We're talking 35. I think that I took 3 weeks off in between just to take a break. So we're talking 38 weeks. 38 weeks of gameplay. Which is pretty much the majority of the time I've been a content creator on YouTube. Because I think I was a month in when I started doing We Happy Few. You know, I did the entire Crash series in between. I started Prey, which eventually I will go back and finish, but Prey is also a very serious game. You know, We Happy Few had some whimsy, but it was an extremely serious storyline. And it looked more comedic than it ended up being. It ended up being something that, you know, there was a veneer of comedy, but it was actually a very serious, dramatic, well thought out storyline underneath. But after 38 weeks of, you know, that type of serious, bleak, post-apocalyptic type thing, I need a little bit of a break. And Prey is very much, so far, has been very much a serious, dramatic, you know, desperate, kind of bleak situation. The station's falling apart around your ears. You know, it's invaded with the Typhon. Excellent gameplay. Fantastic storyline, but I need something a little bit funnier. And so I wanted to keep with Steam was having a sale, and so I am going to blame the Steam sale, even though it's totally on me that I did this. But I'm going to blame the Steam sale. You know, there's that personal responsibility. It's totally my fault, but I blame the Steam sale. So what happened was I was my son and I were going to play Gary's Mod yesterday, and so I'm recording this on Saturday morning about an hour and a half before it's supposed to come out. For the, you know, I'm actually recording it this time. I actually did want to just double check my recording, my OBS, to make sure it was actually ticking this time. So my son and I went to play Gary's Mod yesterday, and as I pulled up Steam, of course, the Steam sale of the week, or the features of the week, popped up. And this weekend, Post-APOC's on sale. Well, I love Post-APOC. So I figured, well, if nothing else, I will find something to play later if it's on sale. And as it happened, there were a few things on sale. You know, Rage was 50% off, and Borderlands 2, the whole package, everything in Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel and all the DLC was on sale 92% off. And so I had to make a choice. And so I looked at Rage. I've played Rage before. And it's a good game. It's made by Bethesda. It's kind of a combination first-person shooter with driving game elements and some RPG elements. It's kind of like Fallout Light, but with hub-based gameplay, which I am not opposed to. I've probably played 3 or 4 hours into it. Probably not even. I can't remember the last time I played. I mean, it was... Oh god, it was probably 2013 the last time I played Rage. So it's been a hot minute. So I looked at that when I thought about it. But again, it was... I don't remember much, but I remember it being a very serious storyline from what I saw. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not sure that's what I want to do. But then Borderlands 2 was on sale, and I'm like, well, if they're going to sell $220 worth of gameplay and DLC for $20, I'm going to pick it up while I've got the opportunity, even if I don't play it right away. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I've never played Borderlands. I've never watched a Let's Play on it, so I would be doing it completely blind. I have seen a few clips, and they're mostly from a friend of mine who loves Borderlands. Like, I've got a couple friends who are just completely in love with Borderlands and play it. I would assume they do a run through a couple times a year because they love the game so much, and good for them. I'm not picking on them for doing that. I have games I play a couple times a year. If I don't do 2 Portal runs a year, it's a crazy year. Usually it's closer to like 4. Portal 1 and Portal 2, I'll usually do them back to back. And so I'm like, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. You know, Borderlands 2 is on sale. It's 92% off. I'm going to pick it up. That'll be what I do. But I can't play Borderlands 2 if I've never played Borderlands 1. Because I don't know if they're linked storylines. I don't know if they do it the way most games with like Kingdom Hearts, you have a sequence. Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. You can play them alone, but you miss a lot of content and a lot. You wouldn't really understand Kingdom Hearts 2 very well if you hadn't played Kingdom Hearts 1. Or they could use the Final Fantasy version. Ironic, I'm using 2 Square Enix games as an example, where every game is completely standalone with a couple of rare exceptions. And so I'm like, okay, I can't play Borderlands 2 without playing Borderlands 1. So I picked up the Game of the Year edition. That was not on sale, unfortunately, but it was reasonably priced. So I picked it up, and Borderlands 1 is going to be the new series, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've been wanting to play it for a while, and now I have an excuse. And because I'm doing it on a channel, I have something to hold me accountable to finish it. Just like I managed to finish We Happy Few. Because that's always been my problem. I love gaming. I love... Ooh, global. We're 23, Ped? Yeah. That's always been kind of my thing. I have a hard time finishing what I start. And so having something to hold me accountable is really useful. And so I want to thank all of you, my viewers, for helping me hold myself accountable to completing this project. And so that's what's going to happen. And then I will eventually go back and do Prey. Like I said, I need something a little more lighthearted. I know that, I mean, post-apoc on its own is, you know, has kind of a desperate air to it. It's supposed to. That's kind of the whole theme. That's what you're looking for when you do post-apoc. But at the same time, you can make post-apoc funny. And from the clips that I've seen, I mean, having a quest called Face McShooty in Borderlands 2, and I'm sorry, that's all over the internet. I don't feel any shame at all spoiling the fact that there is a person named Face McShooty in Borderlands 2. I haven't even played Borderlands 2. If there's a game where someone's named Face McShooty, which I'm pretty sure is where Bodie McBoatface came from, Christ's sake, there we go. Then it's going to be hilarious. So I'm really looking forward to it. And later today, I am actually going to not film, but I'm going to record Monday and Thursday's runs. Now, I got a thing down at the Masonic Temple first. Probably pick up some duster to clean out my poor aces. Come on. Back up with me. Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure extermination. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. I'm hoping that the series will go as well as I think it will. And I'm looking forward to the challenge because I know that first-person shooters have never been my forte. Like, ever. And I mean, we're talking, I'm someone who, my first first-person shooter was Doom. Okay? I remember Doom. Like, the original Doom. 2.5D, you know, a bunch of 2D objects running across a 3D plane. Back when parents didn't want their kids playing Doom. And they thought video games were violent then. Which, okay, to be fair, Doom was as violent as you could get on a computer back then, but... yeah, boy. Don't you wish, you know, for those of us who are, you know, late Gen X, early millennials, don't you wish you could have shown them what video gaming would be like in 2019 then? It'd be like, sorry guys, you've already lost this fight, get over it. No, Grand Theft Auto would have just, like, ended it. And the first Grand Theft Auto was actually rather mundane. Jeez. But, oh, where was I going? I had a thought and I lost it. Not enough coffee, probably. That's what I get for recording at 7:30 in the morning. Oh, but I've never been really good at first-person shooters, as I'm sure you saw with Prey. You know, I was doing okay, but not great, and I think I was on normal difficulty for that, too. Borderlands, I don't know. I might try it on hard, because that'll force me to get better. That's something I've become really big on. I have lived much of my life accepting mediocrity. And I decided at the beginning of this year I would not accept that anymore because somebody out there introduced me to a particular psychologist that reminded me how to hold myself accountable. And I think one of the problems with a lot of your self-development or personal development guides, the majority of them, they expect you to make huge changes overnight. You know, do this today, do this today. And there's a certain wisdom to it. But at the same time, that's also why it's so difficult. And then I got put into my brain the idea that change can be gradual and incremental, and it's okay if you screw it up. That's why I've got a list of 9 goals that I want to achieve this year. I give myself the whole year to achieve them, and I've accomplished, it's May and I've accomplished like 4. A couple of them have multi-parts, those are in process. One of which is making sure I put out 7 days worth of content a week. 7 days worth of content. I have something recorded every day of the week, for every day of the week. So, you know, I have my Entropia Universe releases on Sunday and Wednesday. I have my my single player game, which, you know, I just finished We Happy Few, and now it's going to be Borderlands. going on Mondays and Thursdays. I've got my vlog on Saturday, and I've got McBain Moments, which I started a few weeks ago, on Tuesdays and Fridays. And I think that's important to have that consistency. I'm really glad that I am achieving that goal. There was a space where I had to take a break, and you know, as a content creator, if you're a content creator who's trying to figure, okay, how do I constantly put out, sometimes life is going to happen, and you just have to accept that. That's part of it. So don't over-punish yourself for something you have no control over, because sometimes life is going to happen and there's not much you can do about it. That's just the way it is. So if you have to take a break for a little while, if it's better to just cut back, to be able to cut something back, than to have to cut everything out because you've burned completely out. It's going to help your channel. It's going to help your algorithm, because you're still producing content. You just have to do so on a lesser level. But holding myself accountable, I found something that worked really well for me, that I was able to go back to producing 7 days of content. Because playing 2 one-player games and trying to keep the whole shebang straight doesn't work. It just doesn't. When I was playing We Happy Few and Crash, and when I tried doing We Happy Few and Prey, I wasn't able to keep things straight. I was forgetting bits of the storyline. And so I stopped the one that was causing issue. I was playing, you know, I cut out Prey because I wanted to finish We Happy Few. No, I put 45 or 50 hours into We Happy Few for that series. That's a lot of time. So I wanted to finish it. I had to finish it. And you won't believe the sense of accomplishment something as stupid as finishing that game gave me. Because that's a lot of time. It's like finishing a Final Fantasy. Those are long games with a lot to them. And I know there's stuff I missed. There's a whole bunch of stuff in We Happy Few that I missed, although there were some broken quests. Ironically, even though the quest itself was broken, I didn't get the quest reward. It looked like the I never did the Treehouse of Sally, but I should have. After I finished Sally's storyline, I went back and watched Christopher Odd's playthrough of Sally, and that was actually very interesting. And he did the Treehouse, and there's actually an epilogue to that whole storyline that I should have done and I didn't. My bad. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Actually, I ran out of things to talk about earlier than I thought I would. Probably because I've talked about a lot of it and I don't remember what I've repeated. Oh, I do want to say I will be doing a Portal run at some point. You know, it'll be short. I'm going to do Portal 1 and Portal 2. They'll be back to back. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I may do like barrel through a weekend and use that as an opportunity during a peak time when I've got to do, you know, wood splitting or something like that. And don't have time to record on the regular and just put that out at that point. But I haven't, I don't know when that's going to be. I'll probably just do it the next time I do a Portal run. And it's going to happen at some point soon. I haven't done one yet this year. And for me, going 5 months without a Portal run's a really long time. But I'm too excited to start Borderlands to do it right this second, so that's not going to happen right away. But when that does happen, I promise it will be posted. So I hope you enjoy. If there are any games that you think I should be doing, drop a comment and let me know. I would love to know what you think would look good. Not would look good. What do you think I would enjoy playing? And I know you don't have a whole lot to work with. I've put out Entropia Universe and We Happy Few. And I've touched on Prey and I've done a Crash Bandicoot run. That's not a whole lot to work with, but throw something out there. You know, I do like a lot of varied games. Like I've played all of Red Alert, Command & Conquer. I've played Warcraft 1. I've played the entirety of Warcraft 2. Top to bottom. That was a long time ago, though. I will admit I couldn't get into Warcraft 3 as much as I wanted to. And I think it was the hero system that really killed it for me. Although, to be fair to Blizzard, it was really kind of a segue to World of Warcraft. So I'll accept that. There's a lot of Blizzard games I'd like to do, but I don't know the best way to do those. Because I know, like, a lot of you, when you play RTSs, if you watch the RTS games on, like, YouTube, people are just bashing back and forth. I can't even figure out what's going on because they're just speed running everything, and that's not my style. I like to actually enjoy the game I'm playing. And it's like, that's great. I can't even see what you're doing. And I'm not ragging on them. They've got some serious skill. It takes a lot of skill to do that. Like, a lot of serious skill to do that. So kudos to them. But it's just not my style. You know, if it was my style, I probably wouldn't be able to take being an Entropia Universe player, because it's just too frenetic. But if you know of a game that you think would be fun to watch, you'd like to see me have to grind through, drop a comment, let me know. I'd like to know what you'd think. Other games I thought about doing Fallout 76, but I don't know how I feel about doing 2 Mamorpagas, and Fallout 76 is like Entropia. You can do content for it forever. And that's good, but how many irons do I want in the fire? I've got a couple other projects I'm working on that I'm hoping to, within the next year or so, have it all kind of hammered out how that's going to work. You know, I'm re-releasing Ghosts of the Past. I'm working with my publisher. I have a cover artist that I'm working with that's going to produce a new book cover for it. So I'm hoping to release that by Christmas, and then I've got Hunting the Jackal, which is the sequel to Ghosts of the Past, and that is going to be coming out probably sometime in 2020. I think I'm about a third of the way through editing it for the last time. I haven't figured out what that's going to look like yet. That might be 2021. Big surprise, editing a book actually takes longer than writing it. And despite the fact that this is the 7th draft, the 7th top to bottom draft, where I've actually, like, typed it word for word again, it does take time to work all the way through it. And then it's got to get approved by the publisher and all that other stuff, so that is coming, I just don't know when. And I've got to keep up the website. You know, my weekly blog. I want to write more Entropia fiction. If you haven't read Stalking the Desert, which is a short story based on Cyrene, make sure you go to McBainmanor.com and read it. I'm rather proud of it. Maybe prouder than I should be, but I really enjoyed writing it. I hope you enjoy reading it. I'll drop a link to it in the description. Better heal up. Really, that's all I've got. This is what I get for, yeah, we're almost to the half-hour mark. We're doing pretty good, although admittedly this includes the 20 minutes that I was talking to myself. We've got quite a bit of loot here. We're doing pretty good. Which is good, because I had to spend 130 ped on new swords. Thankfully, the decay rate on these is actually not that bad. These Panleon's loot pretty good. So let's kind of move ourselves to the beach. Run away. We're not really running away, we're just kind of kiting them. I want to get out of their spawn zone so I don't attract any extras. Ads, ads! And once we clear those out, I'll go back to base. My son's been getting back into Overwatch lately, and I know he's anxiously waiting for me to let him use the good computer, although a friend of mine offloaded his gaming computer on me, and I'm not bitching. I got it for free, so I'm not bitching at all, and I know it's good enough to handle Overwatch. So it's once I get a monitor for it and some speakers, my son's gonna get set up on that, so he stops asking to use mine. Like, okay, here you go. Because, you know, if there are other parents who watch this, you know, back me up here. Sometimes you got to balance, you know, what you want to do with what your kids want, because it, you know, it requires the same equipment. And I know some parents are like, well, I take priority, and others are like, well, you know, it's a game, my kids should get the opportunity because they've got limited time. But sometimes that balancing act is not easy. You know, being the good parent versus being the, you know, gotta earn your right to do it. Okay, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like, share, and subscribe down below. Don't forget to check out my sponsor, Critical Links. Links to that and my webpage, including the story, Stalking the Desert, are in the description. Looking forward to the next time. You all have a good one. Bye.